We are going into the final month of the season, and the Mariners are in sole possession of first place in the AL West. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Sogcast. I'm Patrick.
I'm Matt.
I'm Garrett.
And I'm Nathan.
The Mariners, sole possession of first place in the West. We're getting some help out from the Yankees. I never thought I would be rooting for the Yankees, but they're kind of been putting the wood to the Astros, and that helps the Mariners out, and the Rangers are just crumbling.
Yeah, they've gone on some bad slides. They had a really long losing streak right when the Mariners were surging, too. So things turned around really quick.
It's like me riding a bicycle in 4th grade. Just a long skid.
The Mariners are 77-58. That's 19 games above 500.
Woo!
Yeah, the Astros are 77-60. So they have 2 more losses than us, but the same amount of wins, which puts them 1 game behind us. The Texas Rangers are 75-60, and they're 2 games behind us. They're 3-7 in their last 10, and the Mariners are 7-3 in our last 10. So we've really traded places with the Rangers. This is the first time since 2003 that the Mariners have had sole possession of the AL West at this point in the season, which is insane. The Mariners have had the best summer that we could have asked for.
And although the Mariners are in sole possession right now, it's not like we're running away with it. It is going to be a very, very tight AL West race till the end of the season, especially with the end of the month coming up and those division games against the Astros, against the Rangers. That can really make or break who takes the West. But the Mariners are in the driver's seat right now, and that's where you want to be. You want that cushion, 2 games, 1 game, I mean, any game. Like, as long as you're in the driver's seat, you know, they're playing to catch up, and you can have that little bit of cushion.
Yeah, and the Mariners just set their franchise record for most wins in a calendar month this August.
21 wins in a month. Yeah, there was like 5 or 6 seasons or something tied with 20, and a few of them were in 2001 during our 116-win campaign. But this year, yeah, they took the sole possession of the whole list. 21 wins in 1 month is insane.
It's a lot of wins.
It's a lot of wins.
We thought July was good. Hey,
July was good.
and August was even better. Like, holy shit.
Legendary. Historic.
And catching up with you guys, we did an early episode last week. We recorded on a Thursday, so we'll kind of do a quick recap of everything that's kind of happened over the past week and a half. Started out with the Kansas City series. We swept them.
Yeah, they were giving us trouble in the series before that.
Yeah, they didn't make it easy on us.
No, they didn't. And they're not a good team, but they have some pieces. And
And they played good ball against the Mariners, which is annoying.
Yeah, and honestly, it wasn't even like the Mariners were doing anything bad or like playing shitty. It's just the Royals were playing hard-fought baseball against us. And, you know, props to them going out and battling. And the Mariners still came out with the sweep. And then we had Oakland, series win. Probably could have been a sweep. We did lose that middle game, but also that was a whole series of unfortunate events. George Kirby got scratched from his start right before he was supposed to take the mound with an illness. Julio Rodriguez missed that game and the game after.
A little tummy bug.
soreness.
Oh, foot soreness.
Yeah,
Tummy bug was early.
Yeah, and Kirby got the little bit of the upset tum-tum.
Oh, that's right.
And Julio
and Ty France, too.
Yeah, Ty France, pick off to first, hit him in the wrist. He ended up leaving the game in the 2nd inning. So we were down, 3 key players in that game. Still had chances to do stuff. But whatever, sweeps are hard, even when you're playing Oakland A's. Still took 2 out of 3.
In Oakland, they've called up a lot of young players who are trying to prove themselves too. Even though we smacked them 7-0 in the first game, we had that unfortunate series of events. Like you said, Julio wasn't there, but at least we're playing the Oakland A's, where we played a hard-fought game in the middle, even without Kirby starting, and we did what we could. We took 2 out of 3, and that's great. And now we went on the road. We had a game off Thursday again. We went on the road and we went to Citi Field,
New York Mets.
the New York Mets, and we lost the first game 2-1, and it was a pitcher's duel the whole time. We had Logan Gilbert dealing, and they had Kodai Senga, who matched Gilbert and more. He had 12 Ks in his 7 innings. So, I mean, it came down to the point where the Mariners should win this game, right? Like, the Mariners' strength should be late and close, but since we've lost Sewald and put Munoz into these situations, it's been... I don't know. It's hard to trust. It's been shaky.
Yeah, hit and miss all year on the late and close games.
Yeah.
Well, there's 2 issues with that opening Mets loss. First one, again, something I've harped on so much. Munoz in a non-save situation. And I'm so tired of hearing, oh, the matchup, it's their best hit. It doesn't matter. I've been harping on this for weeks now. Use your closer in a closing situation. Another thing that pissed me off is Gabe Spire came in the 7th inning, threw 1 pitch, got out of the inning, and then they pulled Gabe in the 8th to use Munoz, who then was shaky, could not find the strike zone, 2 wild pitches, throwing behind hitters. Just stop using him in non-save situations, Scott. I don't know how many times I got to tell you this. However, that wasn't the only fault in that game. Mariners were 0 for 12 with runners in scoring position.
Yeah.
It goes on the hitters too. It was a bad game.
Sure. About the bullpen, though, like, do you want to see Munoz only in those situations, like close situations, save situations?
If he's our closer, then yes. If he's not our closer.
But is he? Would you rather see, like, for example, would you rather see, like, closer by committee? Like, you put the guys in where they slot best against the lineup, and by the end you have a long enough list of good pitchers with good shit that, like, they're gonna beat them regardless. Like, would you rather have a slated reliever list of, like, this guy only pitches when we're in save situations, like Sewald did? I think, like, we're kind of thinking back to that. But is Munoz that guy? Like, is Brash that guy? Is Topa that guy?
Topa could be that guy. And I am very outspoken that I think teams need a traditional closer. I don't like the kind of committee thing. Sometimes if you're in a pinch, if your closer has closed back-to-back games, he might need a day's rest, and you have to use someone else in that situation. Fine, I get it. But I don't want a closer by committee. I don't want a closer to then be used in situations when he shouldn't. And honestly, we saw the same thing with Sewald. Sewald was a dominant closer for us, but there would be times we would put him in the 8th inning or in a non-save situation, and he would falter too.
Yeah.
It's just, closers have this mindset. You have to be prepared for the situation you're pitching in. And, I mean, Munoz looked lost out there coming in the 8th. He looked like he didn't know what a strike zone was.
And it's not the first time.
No, it's not. And I harped on, I was in the group chat as soon as it came on. I said, hold on to your hats, Munoz in a non-save situation. And sure enough, he ended up throwing another 30 pitches or whatever, was lost, wild, and gave up the run, and we lost 2-1.
Yeah, and the Mariners' strength last year especially was late and close. Like, we're going to be really good in all those situations. We're really confident in the back end of our bullpen, and Munoz even looked more confident and had, like, the best shit he had last year. So it's weird that he can't, like, repeat that, I guess. Him and Brash, like, they can't hold a runner on for their life, for one. That's the biggest problem with both of those guys, which is huge. Where I guess I want to get to the point where, like, is Topa the guy that we go to when we need to hold, or, like, to hold on at the end? And if there's a runner on, dude, Brash and Munoz really make me nervous. Like, they from out of the stretch, their pitches are wild. They'll throw wild pitches. They can't hold a runner on for their life. They're I think Topa is a much better situation, or, like, much better option in those situations, and where like, even when a runner gets on, we can hold them on and, like, still throw that hard sinker and get the ground ball we need for a ground ball. Where the other guys don't really have that. I'm glad Munoz has developed a two-seamer, but he can't hold a runner on for his life. So I'd rather go with Topa in those 8th inning tie ball game situations at this point.
Well, I've been singing Topa the Morning to you praises for a while now. I've been a huge Topa guy. I like him a lot. He came in huge on this Saturday game with a 4-out win, actually.
He did. Yeah.
But yeah, and that was also Scott making a wiser decision. Topa came into the 8th, threw 3 pitches, got out of it. He's still fresh. Use him in the 9th, which he did. And Topa came out huge. Also had some help from Vogelbach.
That's
bumbling,
true.
stumbling, rumbling, falling into second.
So good.
Knee first dive into second base is fucking amazing. JP turned around and looked like, what are you doing? I guess we'll get this out. Like, there's no way you should be taking second base.
JP's face was so funny.
That's hilarious.
And Dave Sims on the TV broadcast as well. Oh, it was hilarious.
They reamed him.
He's decelerated.
Decelerated.
It was great to see Topa get the chance to pitch against 3 lefties in the 9th there too, and get his the 4-out win, I guess.
Yeah,
Not
the 4-out win.
The 4-out win, yeah. And I really like him in that situation. It felt way better. And even if he's not there and we have to face lefties, we had to use Spire earlier in the game, but like that's why I'm kind of saying closer by committee, like versus having a guy that's always the back end guy. Since Sewald has left, things have gone into more of that realm for me, where like, how do we designate just one guy for that? And is it Munoz? I think it's Topa if we have that guy at all.
Also, to tie into your point with Munoz not being able to hold runners, Munoz has the slowest time to the plate, like in his delivery. It's the slowest to the plate on the Mariners. And runners just run all over him, and he doesn't throw pickoffs. So runners on first, second see that, and they can run on him all day, and we've seen it.
Yeah,
They get crazy good breaks. Topa, I mean, how many times did he throw over to first? Like
about 4 times.
And each time, like especially in the 9th, keeping that runner at first base, keeping him honest.
With a full count and 2 outs, he threw to first.
That is huge. And that's also a lot of pressure on the pitcher, too. Like, that's a big pickoff move, and it has any chance to go wild. And he was keeping the runner honest. I really, really like Topa in these situations. And Munoz is great when he's on, but he's been too wishy-washy. He's had great months. He's actually having a great season despite these mess-ups. But when you're in this playoff hunt, you can't be blowing games like this. You can't be coming in and getting rattled. You need to shut the team down and just, do your thing. And he's been washy at times.
He definitely doesn't seem playoff ready, especially after what we watched the other day. You're 100% right. He looked completely lost. You could see it in his eyes. What is baseball? Like, dude, what are you doing out here? But I don't know if there is a guy on this team right now that you could call a designated closer. I think if you had to pick one, Topa is a great option.
Yeah, definitely Topa. I think Thornton has been really effective for us too. Like in a small sample size, he's been getting it done too, which is nice. We slotted in. Who did we get from the Angels dump of players? Dominic Leone.
Return of the King.
So in September, since we get to expand our roster by 2 spots, we ended up benefiting by getting a guy that we know has experience with our team and in the major leagues. We know what to expect from him. We threw him right straight into our bullpen for not very much money at the end of the year. And that's nice. Right when we get to expand rosters, like that's the time that they do the dump, which, I mean, that's on purpose for them to get under a salary cap. But also, it's just great. It's great to have somebody you know and trust instead of pulling up another random guy and starting their major league clock. Or we have a whole plethora of guys, but it's nice to add a guy we already know. Thornton, though. Thornton, he's been in 17 games. He has a 1.8 ERA, 17 strikeouts in 20 innings, a 1.15 whip. He's not a huge strikeout guy. For the Mariners, 7.1 innings, 6 hits, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks. He's great. Every situation he's been in, he's been good. He had a 2-inning outing in Oakland and gave up 1 hit, 1 strikeout. I think Thornton is a guy that we could use more effectively too. And if we're not trying to go to Brash and Munoz in every high leverage situation.
I am actually kind of curious why Thornton hasn't gotten more work. We have used a lot of Spire, a lot of Topa.
Even Isaiah Campbell.
Campbell has gotten some work in. Brash still pitches occasionally. His appearances have definitely gone down since the beginning and halfway point of the season. And that's due to his wildness. You can tell the coaching staff is behind Munoz because they're still giving him plenty of work. They want him to figure it out. And we mentioned, what was it, like 2 episodes ago when we felt like he had the yips. And I would say, it looked like the yips kind of returned in this most recent outing. And
I do think he has elite stuff, though. Like, his fastball and slider are elite. So when he's on, like you said before, like, he has to be on. But lately he's been very shaky, and his confidence looks not great. He doesn't look like he's out there and to be dominant. He's out there just to try to get the job done, and he's not sure he can. And that sucks, especially when the Mariners are playing so well and like playing with such a confidence, and like the offense especially has like each other's backs, you know what I mean? And I would hope that Munoz feels the same way. Like, you just go out and do your part, but I don't know. He's been nervous, I can tell, and you're like, it's obvious out there.
One thing that's also interesting with the expanded rosters is right now the 2 people that we have on our expanded rosters is Dominic Leone, who we recently picked up, and Sam Haggerty is back. We were wondering if one of those spots would be filled with a returning Jared Kelenic. He is rehabbing right now in Tacoma, but Matt, you said you saw him the other day and he doesn't look.
Yeah. Yep. So last Thursday, he started in Tacoma. It was his first rehab night back, and he did hit a single through the infield, like a hard ground ball through the right side or up the middle, and he ran to first base, and it didn't look awesome. He was kind of hobbling a little bit. Like, his foot is not ready for major leagues. So, like, it's nice to see him hit the ball squarely and like get a hit. But it wasn't great to see him get out of the box and get up to first base. And like, I would say he's at like 60%. You know what I mean? When I saw that video, I was like, oh man, they're just trying to get him to see live pitching and see if he can hobble around the bases. But they're not trying to have him go first to third or steal a base right now at all. No way.
And see, that's also a problem because that was one of Kelenic's strengths, was his speed. He's not the speediest guy. But, he had a little bit of hustle with him, and if he doesn't even have that, that's another part of his game that just isn't there right now. And honestly, I mean, it's not like we're missing him. I'm not missing Jared Kelenic in the lineup.
Look how good we've done in the last 2 months.
Yeah, and we've had Canzone he's been amazing. He had that pinch hit, two-run home run on Saturday. That was huge, and he's come up in some big moments. His defense is actually looking a little bit better than when he first started. It looked like he's kind of like a baby deer out there.
He still looks that way, honestly. But yeah, no, his defense is good. His reads aren't bad. Like, he's fast enough. He has a good enough arm. Like, he's done everything that we need him to do, filling in for someone like AJ Pollock. And, even Rojas for Kolten Wong the same way. Like, we added youth, flexibility. This team is way more versatile that way. Like, these players fill in perfectly for what we were missing. We just needed those like platoon bench style players to have a righty lefty matchup in the outfield and at second base, and it's actually really nice. But I will say though, Caballero has been lacking a little bit. Like, bringing all these players into the mix, even Haggerty, like Caballero. What do you think?
I mean, he's definitely become the odd man out. Rojas is now getting a lot more playing time. Also, quick side note, Kolten Wong
is a real douchebag.
Had his first at-bat with the Dodgers and hit a pinch hit 3-run home run.
God, of course it's for the Dodgers.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was like, what are the Dodgers doing with Kolten Wong? Well, fuck me.
Anything they do has a silver lining, dude. The Dodgers.
Also, Kolten Wong pinch hit for Freddie Freeman. And hit a 3-run home run.
So what? They were already up by 9 runs.
Actually, I think they were losing 6-0 at that time. So they put in Kolten Wong, and sure enough, 3-run bomb.
Oh my god,
that's so dumb.
The
side note. Luis Torrens is back with the Mariners organization.
Return.
Luis Torrens, our savior.
We vowed so many times that we would never have to talk about him ever again. And like rising from the ashes of the Phoenix, Luis Torrens returns.
Cool.
Great. Awesome.
Can we talk about our hottest player?
No, we were still on Rojas. We had 2 side tangents.
Yeah.
All right.
No, Rojas has been great, and Cabs has been faltering. He hasn't been getting it done in the plate. There's one at bat in particular that really, really pissed me off, and it was in the Oakland series when we lost that game 2. Their pitcher, Oakland's pitcher, was getting wild. He was having trouble finding the zone, walked 2 guys. We had the bases loaded with 2 outs. Caballero comes up. Pitch 1 is a ball. Pitch 2 is a ball. Pitch 3 is up in on his hands. Caballero swings at it, pops out, inning over with the bases loaded. And it's just, what are you thinking in that situation? Their pitcher is obviously wild. And even if he throws a strike there, you're still ahead of the count. There's no reason to be chasing a 2-0 pitch. That was such a boneheaded at bat and such a mistake at the plate. That really, really infuriated me. And that's just kind of the dumb decision making that, Cabs used to be kind of like excel in those situations and like messing with the pitcher and stuff like that. And it seems like he's kind of regressed. And then on top of that, during the loss to the Mets, the 2-1, he came in as a pinch runner in the 9th inning and immediately got picked off.
That was brutal.
That was awful.
Yeah, I was like, oh, Dylan Moore, put Dylan Moore. And then they were like, Caballero. And I was like, okay, yeah, Caballero, cool. He can steal a base. He's pesky out there. Perfect for the 9th inning pinch runner. Instantly picked off. Oh, dude, I was not happy.
It wasn't even close.
No,
they didn't even challenge it. And especially like in the 9th, any play, if you have your challenge left, you might as well, because what are you going to lose? They didn't even bother with it because it wasn't even, there was no question. He was so far off the bag.
Too obvious. Yeah.
And he was actually leaning the opposite way as the pick came in. So he was just caught out in no man's land, and just an absolutely brutal, it's been a brutal week for Cabs, especially. But yeah, he's been faltering. Rojas has been looking pretty good. I like his defense. And he's coming up at the plate quite a bit, like good hits and stuff. Yeah, I'm happy with Rojas and Canzone. It's been a good trade, honestly. We've gotten those pieces from the Sewald trade have been working out for us.
It's funny because our biggest conversations happen around what's going on at the back end of our bullpen when we should trust our team to be solid late and close with the type of bullpen we have. And that's our biggest conversation is like, well, should we designate one guy as like the hardcore closer, or is it like by committee matchup style now? Now that Sewald's gone, it kind of threw a wrench in there, even though it's really good. Like, I still am really confident in our bullpen, but it is funny that like the trade worked out, but also like, yeah, pulling from our strength, like that was the nail, dude. That was the nail that kept everything together, and now we're flying in the wind, So we're flying by the seat of our pants, letting young like bullpen guys get experience in high leverage situations, and it makes me nervous, but I like it. I think it's good. It adds to the tension of this season.
And it is kind of funny that the 2 pieces with Cazone and Rojas have helped us, but then also it has hurt on the back end of our bullpen.
Yeah.
But and still, that's a good trade, right? I mean, we did trade from one of our strengths to bolster what we needed bolstering, and it has
allowed us to DFA Kolten Wong.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
that's
AJ
a win.
Pollock.
And AJ Pollock.
Or we traded him, but at the same time, I opened up those roster spots for guys who are going to be useful. Cade Marlowe, like with Kelenic going down too. Like it helped a lot.
Yeah, it had to be done.
Yeah. I mean, nothing happens on this team unless Julio goes off this season. We knew what he's capable of. We saw him do it last season, right? And this year, we were kind of worried. We're like, damn, sophomore slump. And he kind of held it together like the Mariners did all season. While they were 500, he was just okay. He wasn't horrible. He wasn't great. But as Julio has gone off, dude, this last month, he's hitting over 400. 409 with a 449 OBP and a 701 slug. That's a 1.150. 1.150 OPS. He's absolutely crushing the ball. That's the last 30 games. In the last 15 games, he's hitting 493.
Jesus.
With a 1350 OPS. In the last 7 games, he's hitting 448 with a over 1400 OPS. It's insane. What he's doing has driven this team. And I mean, I didn't see it coming, dude. I thought early this season, I think at the beginning of the year in our predictions, I was like, I think Julio could be a top 5 MVP, like voting guy. I think he could make top 5 MVP. And
couple of down months later, it was looking bleak.
In June, no way. But like right now, yeah, I think he can be a top 5 MVP guy, which is insane. He might get a vote over, someone might vote for him.
I mean, I can see it happening with what he's been doing at the plate this past month has been historical. I mean, he had the record for hits in 4 games. He has been on a tear. And yeah, him going off, the rest of the team, it helps everybody. Another person who is absolutely killing it, Teoscar Hernandez, who another one, we were like, oh, he starts out slow, but he needs to start figuring it out. He needs to be cooking. He is cooking as well. He's not putting up Julio numbers, but damn, he's been so clutch. Big hits. Pop had that huge line drive home run.
Consistent too.
Yes. And
he's laying off that slider and hitting pitches in the zone.
That was the killer.
And
every time he came up, any breaking ball out of his shoes.
Right-handed pitching?
Yeah, just no shot. I got nervous whenever he came up to bat, and now I'm so confident every time he's at the plate. I'm like, let's go.
And it's crazy
Teo with another double.
And it's crazy that adjustment he made to just all of a sudden just lay off that pitch. It's like one day, it's literally like one day it just clicked, and he just stopped chasing that outside slider, and now his hits have gone through the roof.
Yep, last 30 games, 355, 380 OBP, which, he's laying off those pitches, hitting the pitches in the zone. He's only walked 4 times in the last 30 games.
He's not there to walk, he's there to hit.
Him and Julio are there to swing the fucking bat and do damage, and he has. And even with 4 walks, he has a 380 OBP in the last month. That's on base percentage. That's insane. In the last 7 games, he's hitting 407 with a 14-14 OPS, which is insane. He's hit 5 home runs in the last 7 games, 20 home runs in the last 15 games, and 26 home runs in the last 30 games. He's been nothing more than awesome and has totally turned around what we saw from him early in the season and has become the player we needed from Teoscar this year, signing him to a 1-year deal.
And JP has hit his 14th home run today.
JP is the man.
JP is the best Mariner.
We're so lucky to have him.
He's hit home runs in back-to-back games after today's game on Saturday.
The 2nd.
Good thing you got that watch because I didn't know what day it was.
Yep.
JP Crawford's the man, dude. He's the glue that keeps this team together. Like when he was out with concussion, it was weird. We need him to keep this team flowing. He's swinging harder than I've ever seen him swing in his life, and it's paying off.
I mean, we even talked about that early, like first month of the season when he hit like that 110 mile per hour double off the wall. I mean, this was literally like first month of the season. We were like, whoa, JP's got a little extra mustard on it.
Yeah, man. Torquing it.
Torquing?
He's torquing. Yeah, JP, best Mariner.
Best Mariner.
Now, also, there are some Mariners that are not cooking right now. We're having our issues with Ty France, and Suarez and Cal to some extent. But I'd really say Ty France and Suarez. At least with Suarez, though, this blew my mind. Dude is batting like 230. He only has like 18 home runs. And for some reason, this dude has 83 RBIs. I don't know how that happens with an average so low and his power numbers being a little bit down.
Clutch factor.
I know. We put him in the middle of our lineup, and the dudes in front of him get on base, so he has more opportunities than most players do to get RBIs. And we know, like I've said before, we know his average is going to be like 225 to 240. And when his hits come matter a lot because that's all the hits he's going to get, right? Like we know what rate he gets hits at. It just depends on what they are and when they are.
Mm-hmm.
He can get on a tear like we've seen him do. Like he was on a tear a few weeks ago and now he's in the slump part and he's 4 for his last 26 and it sucks. But we know that he's going to come back around and even that out. We just kind of know what to expect from him. But also, like, he's just such a huge part of our lineup. He's in there every single day.
Yeah.
Has not missed a game this season.
And his defense is Gold Glove caliber.
Yeah.
I will riot if he does not win the Gold Glove this year. His bare hand throws to first that he's hit consistently all season.
Disgusting.
I mean, you can put up just that play. It's like a 3-second play. You could put up a 15-minute highlight reel of it. He's been doing it all year, and he does not miss.
Yeah, show it from every angle, please. That shit is beautiful, dude. When he came in on that ball at Saturday against the Mets, he comes in on this ball. He barehands it perfectly in one step. He's already like pulled back and released this ball to first base. It's so beautiful, man. He's been doing
125
it all
miles per hour, third to first.
And he does that like 85, 90% of the time. And this year, if fucking Matt Chapman wins the Gold Glove at third base again, I'm going to be pissed because Eugenio Suarez has had the best season I've seen at third base for a decade. And we had Kyle Seager. Like, I'm not saying like this is no slouch. This dude should win a Gold Glove this year.
He 100% deserves it. And it's kind of funny like how basketball players and stuff will have like their signature jump shot, stuff like that. That is Suarez's signature play, is that bare hand, one step cannon to first. It is beautiful. It's a work of art watching him at third. And he's got an absolute cannon, even from when he's not charging the ball, even deep in the hole at third. He launches that ball to first.
He has a cannon. It's awesome. Getting back to like offensive struggles, I guess. I don't know. I think Cal Raleigh has done a really, really good job. He hit right-handed and slapped a single today. But he has been hitting pretty well over the last couple weeks. Over the last 15 games, he has a 302 average and a 660 slug. Like,
Not
there
bad.
you go.
a 900 OPS over the last 15 games. And, I mean, he's one of the best offensive producing catchers in the league, which is really great. Like, maybe he's not one of the best offensive players in general, but for his position, he's top tier offensively, especially. So I think that's a special thing that we have in Cal Raleigh, being able to hit from both sides of the plate as well.
Yeah, switch hitting catcher is crazy. And yeah, his power numbers are through the roof. I mean,
It's
most
awesome.
home runs by a catcher.
900 OPS was great.
Yeah, so I mean, he's still, I guess you're not expecting him to smack a ton of singles, though. But I wouldn't even put him in the same slumping category as Ty France and Suarez.
Ty France has been a lot more streaky and disappointing.
Yeah.
Plus, Cal tows that wagon around. He's not the fastest guy.
Do you
out there.
expect Ty France to hit more home runs than J.P. Crawford? Because
I would
looking
think
at their
so.
body type,
I would have thought so at the beginning of the season. Yeah,
dude. Yeah, me too. But Ty France has doesn't even have double-digit home runs. He's not hit for power at all this year. I don't know what's happening.
And they went through that whole thing. It's like, oh, they fixed his neck, so now he's gonna be a 300 hitter when he went to that chiropractor.
It's just another part of the roller coaster of his season.
Now, not to be a complete Ty France hater, Ty France's fielding percentage is .999. He has one error.
Mint, baby.
He has one error on the entire season. I mean, it's not out of the question that he wins a Gold Glove when you have almost 1,000 fielding percentage.
Yeah, he's been amazing over there too, man. Our corners are gold like that.
Oh, yeah.
They're mint, baby. And Ty France picks so many balls too. It's not just that he hasn't made many errors. It's like he successfully picks most of the balls coming his way from JP, from Suarez. Like he has a tough job over there, and he really gets it done, especially coming from a third base natural position. And he's made the transition to first base seamlessly, and I think he is a Gold Glove caliber first baseman. We'll see what happens this year. I don't know who else is in the running over there.
You think that it's affecting Ty France's wrist injury problems? It's just taking heaters from JP and Suarez.
Every time Suarez cannons one in there, it's like, oh, I'm not getting a hit today.
Dude, he gloves most of those, and he gets hit by pitch more often than he does by one of those throws.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
I mean, it is
Dude,
kind of
also record-breaking numbers.
hit artist, hit by pitch artist.
Yeah.
It is kind of sad that it's funny and sad that like Ty France's biggest contribution at the plate this year is him just getting hit by pitches.
Yeah.
He has
That's
10 home
that's
runs.
his thing. It's his specialty.
I was wrong. He has double-digit home runs. He has 10. But
Barely.
Burley.
yeah, it seems like, that guy should be putting up more power numbers for some reason. He just doesn't. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. It was weird to see his name in the hat of players we might be willing to trade at the deadline, too, while Teoscar's name was going around. Logan Gilbert was like a pipe dream for other teams. Like, what would you give us for him? Ty France was thrown around at the end of that deadline too, which I wasn't too sure about. Like, I've been a Ty France guy, but this year has been pretty lackluster. So we'll see what he can do here in September and how clutch he can be in the playoffs, because that's an important part of our team if we have to make the decision to trade that kind of player at some point.
It's definitely a possibility, but I mean, as we make our push for the postseason, the team starts to get more amped, especially the more we win. If we can continue these hot streaks, dude, the players are just going to get more and more stoked, play better baseball, have more fun, be all smiles out there, just mowing them down.
Don't choke.
Yeah.
And again,
And the more games we can gain, the more games we can go up on the Rangers, the Astros, the more cushion we have later in the season when we have a not so like negligible chance to kind of sputter out, peter out there at the end.
I mean, it definitely looks like playoffs are becoming 100% possibility. I mean, whether we win the division and stuff is still up in the air, but it looks like for the second straight year, the Mariners are not going to miss the postseason. And it would take kind of an epic collapse, which last month of the season, especially those division games at the end, anything is possible, but I just don't see it with the way this team is playing. Vibes are at an all-time high. Everyone, for the most part, is cooking. Everyone's stepping up.
Rangers are sliding like Vogelbach.
Yeah, we have a three-way race in the West now, which is amazing. Like, the Mariners basically do have a 90+% chance of making the playoffs, because even if we fall out of the division, we're still right up there in the second wild card spot, right? Like, the Red Sox have kind of fallen off. Who's scary that's in the wild card? It's just us in Houston. The East has kind of fallen off a little bit. The
Blue Jays.
I mean, they've been hit and miss too, so they're not necessarily on a roll like the Mariners are. The Mariners are on a heater, and they have been. Like, they're going to keep being on that. I'm going to look at our baseball reference chance playoff odds: 84.3% to make the postseason, 8.7 to win the World Series on Baseball Reference.
I like those odds.
I do too.
Those odds are huge compared to what they were a couple months ago. So,
Did I hear that Vlad Guerrero was taking ground balls at third base? Like, are the Blue Jays like really struggling?
I don't know. I mean, it could also just be injuries or whatever. I honestly haven't been following the Blue Jays too much because they've been kind of faltering. I haven't even really seen them as a threat recently, especially with the Mariners. Now we're just focused on the division.
Yeah.
So
if he is, I don't know why. Like, they have enough depth to cover that. And he is a natural third baseman like Ty France. And, like, in 2022, Vladimir Guerrero is open to playing some third base. But, like, That's a last resort option for them. I'm sure they have someone who can play there that's more athletic and quick than he is over there. Because what, did Chapman go down? What's going on?
I don't know. I thought that's what I heard, but I didn't look into it.
Maybe I
was just
dreamed it.
Sucks to suck.
Yeah, Matt Chapman's on the IL after hurting his finger in the weight room 5 days ago. So maybe that's why they're talking about it. But honestly, that would be a last resort for them. It does suck, though. I mean, they lost Matt Chapman from hurting his finger in the weight room. Ouch. I mean, Eugenio Suarez jumps up in the AL Gold Glove third base category, huh?
Look at that.
Never missed a game. Showed up to work every day this season.
Never called out.
Never called in sick.
Yeah, no, never had an upset tum-tum. Just there, throwing rockets to first. Now coming up, we have some upcoming series with the Reds, which will be exciting. They have a really amazing young talent over there in Ellie De La Cruz.
Can't wait. That's going to be
go-
fun.
That's going to be really fun. And the Reds are, they're battling over there on the National League, like wild card side and stuff. So they're playing for something.
I would compare them to like the Guardians and the Twins and stuff, though. Like they're still kind of a middle team, you know. And the Mariners should be able to put the I don't know, kibosh on these teams, whatever. Like they should be able to beat them 2 out of 3 for sure. Is what I would expect.
And it is, though, a rough road trip for the Mariners right now. So we're wrapping up the Mets series, then heading to Cincinnati, then Tampa Bay for 4, and then going to Los Angeles to face the Angels.
We're back home with the Angels.
Oh, we are back home
but
with the
still
Angels.
no.
But that's a
days
travel
off.
day with no days off. So back home against the Angels, but still. So Cincinnati, then Tampa Bay for 4, then traveling home without a travel day.
From the East Coast.
Yeah, that is rough. But luckily, if you're going to have a home series after a no travel day, at least it's against the Angels, who have completely just flushed their season down the toilet. They put half of their roster on waivers. They do not give a shit over there in Anaheim. And I'm all for it because I don't give a shit about them either. So we got that in common.
It is funny. I mean, like all the players that they traded for this year in the offseason and midseason, when they went and got Lucas Giolito, they got Drury at the beginning of the year, they got Hunter Renfroe at the beginning of the year. All these players that they signed just like to maybe do something around Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani, they dumped them all. It's kind of weird with the new CBA and the new expanded playoffs that now there's like a second deadline where like it's the dump deadline. Who's gonna dump what players? The Yankees dumped what, like Donaldson and Giolito, and there's a whole bunch of players who got dumped just to get under like salary tax thresholds, especially for the Angels. And I get it. It totally makes sense. It's legal to do. The teams are totally like they can do that. They're out of the race by the time the deadline is over, and then this deadline hits where they can like dump salary. They're gonna do it. It's totally fine, but it's just ugly. And I hope that's not the shape of the league in the future, where more teams will just sign up a bunch of guys just to dump them, 6 weeks later and have other playoff teams pick them up with the expanded playoffs. It's so weird. It's new, so we'll see.
Yeah, I don't think that necessarily that will be the norm. I think it was done just this year by 2 teams that have completely given up. Because it was the Yankees and the Angels especially. The Yankees dropped a few guys. Their season is in the shitter. So they just kind of gave up there, which is fine. And that's kind of funny. And the Angels are such a dumpster fire of an organization that they literally, they were buyers at the deadline. They refused to trade Ohtani, which honestly was probably, looking back, it was the right play. Or at the time, it was the right move because they thought they were making that playoff
They
push.
had a shot still.
Yeah, but now it's funny that they could have gotten an all-time haul for Shohei. They didn't. They tried to be buyers, and literally 6-8 weeks later, all those people they got, they're just like, here, fucking take them. We don't care. our season is shit.
Yeah.
Our team is shit. Our fans are shit.
They just had to get under the threshold for paying extra taxes, dude. They had to like shed like $6-8 million.
Well, that was the thing. They also gave up all these players for literally $7 million. That's it.
That's all they tried
so
to
they don't have
save
to
in their
pay?
salary. Like that's
Yeah.
nuts.
I know, especially in
because they pay a higher tax if they're over that threshold. They're gonna pay more money than they do releasing all these players and letting other teams pick them up. Like they're getting barely under their threshold where they have to pay like a huge tax on having a high payroll. So
Well, they're not going to pay Ohtani next year.
Business-wise, but Artie Moreno was going to sell the team earlier this year, and then they didn't.
Then he didn't, and now
sell
he's just
Shohei. It's all a mess, dude. Like Artie Moreno has to sell the team, and like
I hope he does.
he was too scared to sell Shohei. Mike Trout has to go somewhere else, or else it's just a complete failure.
I was just going to ask that 100%.
That's the only thing that
Mike
saves
Trout
them.
for sure asks for some kind of relocation.
He has to.
He has to. I can't imagine that he would stay in LA.
Why would he want to?
The
I don't
haul
know,
you
he
get
did
for
sign
him.
that fucking 40-year contract or whatever. He
Yeah.
thought, and they probably told him, they were like, "Oh, we're gonna build around you," and they've tried, but they just build crap.
Yeah. I mean, what's he going to do? Turn around and be like, yeah, I don't want to win.
He can be the saving grace by getting traded. Be like, hey, owners, like you have to trade me now before I'm useless, so you can get something to rebuild this organization that you're gonna sell anyway, and like revamp it and make it valuable. Because this is fucked. Like they're gonna lose Shohei. Mike Trout has to go. The Angels have been a dumpster fire, and it's just been sad, honestly.
I don't mind it.
Yeah, I love it. And complete opposite of what the Mariners are doing, which is winning games, winning the hearts of the fans,
Building a great system with great players,
great young talent.
good energy and culture. Like, well, let's breed winning culture here. That's like this is the beginning where we got to build this fire.
Yeah.
This fire's just started. We can't let any of the elements put us out. Like, we've broken the seal. We've made it into the playoffs. Now we're trying to take that next step, and this is the first step in there. As we got to get deeper and deeper as we go, and it's the complete opposite of what the Angels have been doing. And I'm so glad they're in our division with the Oakland A's because it helps us a lot, and it makes the three good teams in our division super important and like valuable to the entire league. And the Mariners being good is important. I think it's been way too long. This team hasn't won shit, and they've got to have a chance at some point.
And another thing I think is really interesting is like I was thinking about all those down years when it was just soggy for the Mariners, and just you never had a core. You might have like one or two guys. You had a Felix Hernandez or an Ichiro after 2003 when the team kind of disbanded. We still had Ichiro.
Cano and Cruz.
So like one or two guys, but we haven't had that core. It was just a revolving door of pieces year in and year out. And, you didn't just have that staple. And now the Mariners have we have this young core. We have this great young pitching staff. And we've added, some veteran pieces, and we might see some of them go, but the core is there. This team is built to be good for years now. And it's just so nice that you're just like, you look at the opening day roster and you're like, who are half of these guys? Those days are gone. We have a dedicated lineup that looks great, young core we're going to keep for a long time, and it's just breeding winning baseball. Seattle is becoming a winning baseball town. And
that's the best thing.
Yeah.
We've never seen that.
I know. It's been so long.
The fans are behind it too, man. People are coming out. Everyone's wearing Mariners gear. Everyone I see, I'm like, hey, go Mariners. Like, let's go. And they're always like, yeah, baby, let's go. Go Mariners.
Tons more people tell me go Mariners now than ever in my life before.
I'm fine with all the bandwagoners. Anyone who has brand new Mariners gear,
Hop on. Come join us.
Dude, I'm still talking to you in public, telling you talking to you about what's happening, not telling you, but like everyone knows, man, this team is on fire.
My delivery guy gave me a pizza the other day. He had a jersey on. I was like, hey, go Mariners. And he was like, dude, go Mariners. They're so good. And I was like, this is great.
Yeah, and it's real, too. It's
Everyone
not just
around me
go
likes the Mariners now.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah. Hop on the bandwagon. I just started a new job, and I'm on day 2, but on those first 2 days, what about the Mariners? What about this? It's awesome. Before you would mention the Mariners, and I don't even think people were aware we had a baseball team. They were like, "Did you mean Seahawks?" I was like, "No, there's."
You're not talking about the Sounders?
Yeah, so it's just so nice to just be able to talk baseball with people, and more people are paying attention. And even if they don't know the ins and outs, they at least know they're like, "Oh, Mariners are doing well."
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
And we can cater to their level of understanding and connect about the things they're excited about, which I love the most. I'm like, okay, what level are they at? How much should I dig
People at work
in
being
here?
like, so Julio's pretty good. And you're like, did you know he has a 1.34 OPS plus?
And they're like, Jesus Christ.
All right, don't talk to Matt about the Mariners.
Yeah.
You're going to spaz on me again.
Yeah, all levels of Mariners fans have been out in force, and I love it.
Yeah, dude.
And honestly, tell your friends about the Mariners. They're hot. They're going for the division. Get everyone involved. Who cares about bandwagoners? Right now, we just want everyone to be fans and cheer for the team that we love, and it's finally good. The years of Sog are ending.
The window is open, and we're airing it out, baby.
And we're seeing the sunshine come through, evaporating all the soggy dew that's been around us. The soggy moat.
The soggy moat.
It's just on a moat of sog and shit.
The roof is
so
open.
long.
The roof is open, baby. Come
The
to
roof
the
is
ballpark.
open. The sun is shining. Tell all of your friends. And you know what? Maybe mention the Sogcast to them. And we'll be here every week giving you the latest news. And make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Tell your friends. We'll bring them on. The more, the merrier. We're happy to do this for y'all. And
The Mariners are one of the best baseball teams right now, guys.
it's so exciting.
the best.
And it's our goal to make you guys the most informed baseball fans in the universe. That's our goal. Thank you all so much for listening, and we'll be back next week. And go Mariners!
Good episode, Nathan.
Killed it, bro.
Yeah.
I want to see a string quartet where it's 4 mandolins.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Rhythm mandolin, lead mandolin,
Bass mandolin.
bass mandolin, and backup mandolin.
That's a string quartet.